My name is Matthew Sliger, and I'm proud to say that I'm a third-generation Rice Krispie Treat farmer.
And after that video went viral, hot diggity, I'm the world's largest Rice Krispie Treat farmer. And with such great response, I thought I'd give you a look behind the scenes of what it takes to be a real-life, successful Rice Krispie Treat farmer. Hey guys, welcome back to Rice Farming TV. I've received so much positive response from my Rice Krispies Treat video, over 130,000 views on Facebook alone in the first week of uploading it. Well, I thought I would share with you a behind-the-scenes look at what it took to film the video. In fact, YouTube viewer KC Auto Doctor commented, "Another amazing video. Would love to see a separate behind-the-scenes video of what it took to pull the shoot off." And you all on YouTube gave his comment several thumbs up votes. So, you asked for it. And here is some behind the scenes and commentary on my Rice Krispie Treat video.
My granddaddy was a Rice Krispie Treat farmer, my daddy was a Rice Krispie Treat farmer, and I'm just happy to be carrying on the family legacy and tradition of snapping, crackling, and popping out these delicious treats.
This is how we get the mini candy-coated chocolates on them. 2.5 by 1.5. Can't pack more marshmallow in that. That's a USDA #1 quality grade Rice Krispie Treat right there. Short grain, medium grain, and long grain. Needed to smooth this one out. We want nice straight edges on our delicious squares. And every once in a while, take a break for quality control. First thing I needed to do was set up the field of Rice Krispie Treats. I had a tight window to do that because I wanted the rice plant's leaves at full growth, but before the seed head formed. I wanted the illusion that the treats were coming out of the plants, but without the actual rice. And then I needed a way for the treats to appear above the canopy, but the rice plants themselves wouldn't be able to handle the weight, so I bought 120 3-foot bamboo skewers and painted them green. At one end, I would skewer a Rice Krispie Treat, and the other end I'd stick in the mud alongside a rice plant. I went to Costco and bought 4 boxes with 30 Rice Krispie Treats in each, 120 treats to match my 120 green bamboo skewers, or stems. That, I thought, should give me enough prop Rice Krispie Treat plants to fill the camera frame and give the illusion that I was actually standing in a Rice Krispie Treat field. But during the setup is where I ran into my first problem.
The most rewarding part of being a Rice Krispie Treat farmer is certainly harvest. The hard work we put throughout the entire crop year is represented in these delicious little crispy marshmallow treats.
My granddaddy taught me a little trick on how to tell if your Rice Krispie Treat crop is ripe enough and ready to harvest. You place some treats into his old coffee can and you shake it. And if you don't hear any breakage, you know that your Rice Krispie Treats are ripe enough. Also, if your Rice Krispie Treats don't stick together, then you know they're not overripe. My daddy, however, says the ultimate determination is a taste test. I wanted this project to be fun, and I wanted it to promote Rice Farming TV, but at the same time, I needed it to be a departure from and have a different look than my typical vlogs. I wanted it to be more cinematic, so I called my buddy Nick for help filming. He has a great eye, he has done beautiful film work within the rice industry, and in fact I met him at last year's USA Rice Federation Outlook Conference. We both spoke on the rice storytelling panel. I'll link his YouTube channel in the video description. Aside from his help, if it wasn't for Nick, this shoot probably would not have happened. Here's why. On the evening of the shoot, it was like 95 degrees Fahrenheit, super hot, and I had a meltdown. A literal meltdown. Remember the problem with the Rice Krispie Treat props I briefly mentioned earlier? Well, about 10 minutes after I started placing them out in the rice fields on the skewer, the marshmallow would begin to melt and the treats would fall off into the water. It was so frustrating, and I couldn't remember my lines. Plop, another Rice Krispie Treat falls off, but Nick encouraged me to keep going, to keep replacing the falling treats, and they did keep falling. So there was absolutely no point of trying to place 120 Rice Krispie Treats out in the field. By the time I finished with the final 20, the first 100 would have already fallen off. So I basically just quickly placed 20 prop Rice Krispie plants around me in the foreground, and we started shooting. All those other skewers and treats were a waste, lost, or just unused. This was definitely not how I envisioned the field behind me during the shoot.
The most demanding part of being a Rice Krispie Treat farmer is in the spring when we prepare to put in a new crop. We only seed with high-quality Rice Krispies cereal and then let nature run its course.
Okay, look, I've got a confession to make. I've got to come clean. Remember earlier in the video when I said that I was the world's largest Rice Krispie Treat farmer? Well, I'm not. It's just not true. I had a horrible crop year. The unseasonable heat melted the marshmallow right off the plant. I lost a lot of crop, and frequently farmers fall victim to radical weather, but this was detrimental. But when I was filming the video, I didn't want to be embarrassed, especially amongst my fellow Rice Krispie Treat farmers. So now, yes, I am embarrassed to admit that those Rice Krispie Treats were digitally added into the background. They weren't real. The whole thing is an exaggeration. I'm not the world's largest Rice Krispie Treat farmer. I'm just a dude trying to make a name for myself in the Rice Krispie industry. Just a regular old Rice Krispie Treat farmer. And I keep eating my profits. I had to hire a freelance VFX whiz to digitally insert the Rice Krispie Treats in the background. So you see the ones around me are real, but actually most are fake. As I mentioned, we needed to replace the real ones throughout the shoot as they continued to fall off as I was trying to deliver my lines. I was definitely bummed out during the shoot regarding the props, and it never occurred to me to digitally add them until afterwards, until actually the entire project was edited together. But in the end, with the extra work, I was really happy with how it turned out. But then I started overthinking, what else could I improve, you know? The sky was too gray, I thought, because all the California wildfires we've been having, so I tried hiring a different guy to change the sky and add subtle clouds.
Me, I was born to do it.
Subtle, I said. I mean, yeah, right, it looked horrible. I told him to take out the clouds and add a clear blue sky, but still, to me it seemed distracting, especially during the B-roll. So in the end, I went with just the natural gray, smoky sky and thought that viewers' attention would be drawn to the Rice Krispie Treats in the field anyway.
Rice Krispie Treat farming's not for everybody. Me, I was born to do it. Nothing like a freshly harvested Rice Krispie Treat.
I know a lot of Rice Krispie Treat farmers who have gone belly up because they couldn't stop eating their profits. Well, that's it, guys. The editing was pretty straightforward because I had it scripted out. I was definitely nervous posting it because it was indeed a departure from my normal vlogs. But did the project serve to accomplish what I set out to do? Yes, for me it was fun. I think it was fun for you. And it certainly promoted rice farming TV, as perfectly demonstrated by a wonderful comment on Facebook from Samantha. This video is great and funny, but be aware it might lead to the path of rice farming TV and all sorts of knowledge you didn't have before. Went back and started at episode 1, and now I'm more than 25 episodes in. It's an honor to have the audience I have. You guys are so supportive, so interested. Thank you to Samantha for looking beyond this fun video and into Rice Farming TV's YouTube channel. Thank you to KC Auto Doctor and all you who requested this behind the scenes video. And thanks to all who are out there watching, commenting, and throwing a thumbs up. I appreciate you. The 2018 rice harvest is coming, so stay tuned. And take care.